In the last video, we talked about comparison, and now we're going to talk about the third feature of experimental research designs, which is randomization. Now, it's very important to note that randomization is not the same as random sampling. So I'd like to write that down here because that's very important to understand. So when we talk about random sampling, we are talking about the manner in which we select the subset of the population that we will test for the study. So for instance, if you have a population of 1,000, random sampling has to do with choosing how many people and which people will take part. So let's say you need 200 people out of 1,000. So if you randomly sample your population, you are most likely going to randomly select them, let's say for example from a list or the names placed in a bowl, which you will then pick. Okay? That is as opposed to randomization, which has to do with how you assign participants to a treatment or control condition. So that means it will happen after you've selected your sample. Okay, so I hope that is clear. So for example, once you've selected your 200 participants using random sampling, you need to assign them to either the experimental group or the control group. Now, how are you going to do that? Well, there are a number of common ways to randomly assign people. Some using a coin, so toss coin. Some using a die. Okay. And in some cases, we use playing cards. Okay, so yeah, so there are a number of ways. And for very large sample sizes, how we like to randomize them eventually when we're assigning them to groups, we may actually use computer programs now. But for the purposes of this example, let's settle with a coin. Okay, so let's settle with a coin. So how do we do that? So let's say we've selected participant 1. Then we toss the coin, and then if it's heads, ulo ni Rizal, then the person goes to the experimental group. And if it's tails, then the person goes to the control group. Okay? So, or we can use the dice. So, if the dice rolls 1, 2, or 3, then the person goes to the control group. But if it's 4, 5, or 6, the person goes to the other group. Okay? Or if you want to use playing cards, you can randomly pick playing cards. If a person picks black, then the person goes to the experimental group. If the person picks red, the person then can go to the control group.